What's up, guys? It's King Daddy DMAC, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. And oh shit, it's a zombie siege! Oh no! Die, die, die! Oh, you damn zombies. Get away from my doors! Whip their ass, Iron. That's right! Damn, these Iron Golems are amazing! Anyway, so last episode we brought over just two little testificate villagers, two little testes, and we got quite a bit now. We're up to, let me see, it says juggling around 80 to 100 there. I think 70 when I went underneath and looked up. It said around 72, so it took quite a while. And I got a little impatient, but I did a little bit of testing myself. But I promised we'd do some testing today on how the hell you breed these guys. And I wanted to do it in this Let's Play world, but they are just such pains in the asses. I swear to God, I end up between every test pretty much have to kill them all and then put new guys in, and in vanilla Minecraft it was just a little too time consuming and labor intensive, more so than I wanted to, just to be able to show it. So maybe at some point I'll come up with a good system on how to do it in vanilla Minecraft, but for now let me just quickly show you some other things I did. This is not a very efficient Iron Golem farm. This is way too much area to do for the water streams, but since, as I had said, I wanted to have some of the golems around for defense and then excess ones be able to be brought over, and just so you can get an idea, this is 30 blocks away from the doors, also probably way further than I need it, but it just seemed a good round number that the rates stayed pretty consistent and pretty high than other numbers I tested. But anyway, got a nice little chunk of them there. It says 42 entities. We're probably closer to, like, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 actual golems there. Let's see when I get closer. Yeah, so probably around 15-ish. And then I actually have a whole nother pile of them here. And one testificate, he was from one of the original bunch, but probably about another 15 to 20 there. So getting some pretty good reserves. I want to use these guys. I want to try out, not this episode, but I want to test out a looting sword to see if it gives you any extra iron, because that would be very helpful. But for now, they're just going to be chilling there and saving up. You bitch. On occasion from these zombie sieges, I'll get rare drops from these guys. And I haven't gotten too many, but I got a couple. I got, I think, a couple pieces of iron armor from them, or at least an iron helmet. And I got an iron shovel, so pretty cool. It adds for a little bit more fun. I know, again, it's not all that new, but newer for me. So anyway, let's go dip back into the creative world now, and I can show you some of the testing that I've been doing. Alright, before we run off to the creative world, I just want to point out, I finally put in those signs around, mostly around the nether, for getting around, because this is probably the most confusing point. And I've been calling my spawn base, nicknaming it the basement. And then hostile mob system. We have our NPC village that way, nether base that way, it's sand quarry, so it should make it a lot easier. Got a lot of new stuff in this world download, other than just the signs. Of course, you're going to get all of those nice iron golems and everything like that. But, let's see. Did I show you guys this? I made, finally, because we found out that we could make the melons and the pumpkins in the nether. I threw in some little automated ones. They're just like the ones that I have in my base, in the basement, but instead just one-sided. Anyway, I thought we could do a quick enchantment real quick before running off because I am at level 58, way overdue. Also, I want to point out I moved a bunch of my diamonds over here from my other base, so about a third of my diamonds. I was thinking, I want to do, what didn't I like that I had already? I want to do another shovel, and then I want to start working on armor, I think. So let's go ahead and work on the shovel. Hopefully I want to get an efficiency on it. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to creative. Oh my god, I hate this enchanting system. I've been clicking so fast because it'll take forever to get leveled to level 50 sometimes, and then I'll freaking pass it. I passed it 4 times. Took me like 20 minutes to get this and not pass it. So you better be a good enchantment. You pissed me off here, I swear to God, shovel. I'm going to whoop your butt. Oh. So not efficiency 5, 4. Better than a freaking another Unbreaking 3 shovel. Oh my god. They really... A lot of people have been talking about what I should use the mods for enchanting where you can pick your enchantment. And I thank all you guys for the ideas of it. And I really am tempted, but this is a vanilla Minecraft Let's Play. I use 0 mods. I don't cheat. I only play on hard. I don't go on peaceful. Nothing. And it's really just the way that I'm choosing to play. It's not the only way to play, and I have nothing against people that play other ways. And if you download my worlds, you know, you're more than welcome to add mods to it. But just sort of the rules that I set up for myself. So, but sometimes I kick myself in the butt for it. Anyway, that's done. Let's head over to the creative world, and just for the testing. And it's kind of... Again, they're talking about rules, kind of against my rules, but this is really, I would have otherwise just not shown the testing. And I really, really would like you guys to see it. I think it's important, and I think that it's not super clear in the wiki, and a lot of people, there just hasn't been a lot of it on YouTube. It was hard for me to even find testing that was done correctly. And, you know, some things may have changed since the time people have done testing. So anyway, enough rambling. Here we go. Alright, so here's the creative world that I was testing in. And there's quite a few different tests that I needed to do because with breeding these guys, it's more than about just the guys themselves. There's also having to do with houses, what's considered a house, how far away they have to be from a house. And all those sorts of things. So right here, this first little thing is testing on what is considered a house. Now, why don't we hop over here, because this is sort of a diagram that helps a little bit. Basically, to have a house, what's considered a house in the game, you need 2 things. You need at least a single door, and you need a single block. So far, the only block that I've tested and found is not actually considered a block is a clear piece of glass. Whereas things, other translucent blocks such as glowstone do actually are considered a block by the game. So you could just have a piece of glowstone in a door. But anyway, the glowstone is going to be what's considered places that if you lay a block by a door, any of those places do not activate making it a house. So if we have a door right here, none of these spots, and by the way, here's the other interesting thing about houses. It goes on, so far I've tested this big thing here is over 100 blocks high. I think it's 150 blocks high from the top of the door, and it still activates it. So it has to be a block that from the door where the block is, basically there's nothing except for glass itself. No other block can be above it. Okay, so basically if you have a door and I have a block, I can put a block there, that's considered a house. I can put a block here, that's considered a house. However, in these spots where the glowstone are, such as here, 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 any of these spots around the door, none of that makes it a house yet. You have to have other blocks going here, 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 And again, these go up forever. So these black ones go on up as high as you can build. It will never be considered a house. So any of those spots, if you put a block there and there's no block above it, it's considered a house. Now this, as I show right here, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 blocks over in either direction, if you have a block in any of these spots and there's a door there, it's considered a house. And again, these go up forever. Then at this point where there's the glowstone on either side, which is the 6th block over, is no longer considered a house. And again, goes up forever. Then you have it if you have double doors. For the double doors, it's the same concept, except for because they're doubled, now this gets pushed over 1, so you can have any 2 spots makes it a house. And you can mix and match these. You could have 1 block here and then the other block here, and then that's considered 2 houses. Okay, and again, these go up forever, and on either side 5 blocks over. Now good patterns, good patterns that I found, and this is representing, is this right here is considered 4 houses. Okay, now where I have the color coding, this right here, this door, this green block above it is in one of the spots, whereas I show with the glowstone make it not a house. So what is actually making it a house is this pink block over here is corresponding with that door right there. And this pink block is corresponding with that door. And then with the green, this door, that block, this door, that block. So that makes for a decent pattern if you want to. Another neat thing that I found, if you want to, this has the doors facing inward or outward. If you have the doors facing inward, like that, then you're able to just have one single roof. Now notice how there's this little, they're cut off like that. It's got the little shape, like this block here is actually right outside the door. Now because these blocks here, those all make it not considered a house, these ones right on the outside of it are in the spot, and they can share the same block, so that you can make the same type of thing. This is considered 6 houses. That would be considered 4 houses. Same thing, but you're able to do it in, although it's just as big of a space because the nearest block you can set otherwise is all the way out here. So it still is taking up pretty much the same amount of space. It just looks a little bit smaller. So another pattern you can do. Then probably the pattern that I like the most and is also the most common is with this one, the double doors facing like this. And it doesn't really matter which direction, if you have it facing that way or that way, it doesn't matter. But again, with the color coding, this block is corresponding with these doors here, and these with the pink here. So another way that you're able to compactly build quite a few different houses. You have here 2, 4, 6, that's considered 8 houses right there. Now again, this is where my testing area was for doing sort of mass amounts of it, and where I have the glass here, not the casing for these guys, but the glass here, this is 5 blocks over. So anywhere from starting from the door here and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a block in any of those spaces would correspond with this door right here and make it a house. Let me sleep real quick just so that it's a little bit lighter out for you. So in this testing was a pain in the ass because I kept having so many different errors on my part to, you know, like I'd have a glass piece like this here and not realize that was actually messing up my testing. And then of course any blocks below the doors do not correspond with it whatsoever. The lowest the block can be is at the same height as basically the bottom of the door. So that's the lowest a block can be, but the height can go on basically. just to sort of show that. And I found it really interesting because you can, kind of hide away stuff. But we have these guys right here. We have plenty of doors for these guys to be able to breed. And these guys by themselves, I found it's a quick, easy way to see if you get hearts above them without them having kids and me having to kill them. But we have this guy right here, which is, I believe, 150 blocks up. Let's see, I can probably actually show that for you. So I figured it was a number. It's no need to test any higher than that because that's pretty ridiculous. Can't even see them from there. But if I take this, and this is one spot over from the doors, so the doors are right here. So this would be the block above the door that makes it not a house. This is one spot further forward. And that should be enough to cover all the doors. Woo! And as you can see, they're already getting all excited and saying, "Ooh, yeah, I love them doors, so sexy, oh yeah." And you can see the height doesn't matter as long as, and that again right there, actually that's corresponding with this way over here. My bad, but same idea. So if you have that on any spot, way up high going over, as long as it's not here or else beyond the 5th block over, it will get them to start breeding. So, and then let's go on to my next test. And this one I kind of already spoiled in showing you some of what's considered a house. But here, and this is at least, I believe, 100 blocks over from there, and that's the other part that's really hard to test it in the vanilla Minecraft, is because of the great distances and making sure that I keep it level and everything away so that each individual testing doesn't mess up with the other. Here what I wanted to test was whether having these blocks right here, which are in spots that make it considered a door, it's just this for these spots here would not work with at least this first row of doors right there. But being here, this is within 5 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is close enough to all the doors that I'm trying to see if using just these blocks, if it will correspond with all the doors, or does each house need its own block? So can it share the blocks or not? So having here, this is 9 doors. I'm going to start it off first with 7. And let's throw some guys in here. Now, on the wiki, it says that you need, if you take 0.35 and multiply it by the number of doors, that should equal how far they'll breed, how many different guys. Now, if you do 0.35 times 8 doors, it goes up to under 3 but below 2. If you were to round, it would round up to 3. So when I throw an 8, and I got kind of lazy on testing this because I didn't want to sit AFK too much for each one, but at 9 doors, that's above 3, but it would round down to 3. So we're going to throw in 9 doors. Now, if they can share the blocks, they should start breeding. As you can see right there, they do. If we couldn't share the blocks, then it would only be considered 3 doors or even 6 doors, but definitely not 9, and they wouldn't breed. So that's the test that let me know that the houses can share these blocks here. And then that, when I take them away, it should make them stop breeding. So that is basically shown us, hopefully you followed me with all that, what is considered a house. And again, it is just the door and a block. And again, for a single door, all these glass blocks placed anywhere in there and up on until as high as you can build. As long as there's not another block above it, any single one of these would correspond with this door and make it a house. And for double doors, again, anywhere that any single two of these glass blocks are would correspond with it. Now again, the glass was just for making it easier to represent so that you can see, but glass is not considered a block. However, glowstone is. Alright, so that pretty much concludes what is considered a house, at least for my concern. One thing I still do need to test is how far apart the houses actually have to be. What's the closest doors can be without them messing up with another village. And that's more for the Iron Golem farming. But the next testing that I had done is over here. And let me sort of explain to you what this is. Alright, here we have basically a crap load of doors. This is just so that I won't have to worry about guys stopping breeding. And here the test is basically how close do the guys have to be to each house in order to breed. And going this way, we have every change of color that's 10 units, 10 blocks. And this is going up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 away. And then I also wanted to test, can it then also go vertically, and if so, how high? Now here I did get some varied results, but let's take a look. Now again here I just put in single guys, and again I knew that once I realized they could breed always that far away, I just would stick in one. And the absolute farthest I was able to get, but I haven't been able to, I think I duplicated it maybe twice, but I feel kind of like it might be an error because they don't seem to be breeding now. And that possibly could be because there's not enough doors for them now, and I'd have to kill off some of these guys. But I was able to get 28 blocks away from the side of the closest door. Now, that's been the furthest I've been able to get it, but I can't seem to duplicate it over and over and over again. And as you can see here, I've had these guys in for a while, and there is no baby. However, right now, I think we got hearts up to maybe here, which is, if this is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Somewhere I'd heard someone saying something about 24 was the furthest. I can't remember where, but I know for a fact 25, 26. I just got a moment ago hearts out of him. Again, I have two guys in here, and there still is no kid. So I'm almost inclined to say 25 is more realistic. But, yeah, see? So we got up to 25 there. And again, it's possible. Let's just test this real quick. Let's kill off these guys now that I've showed you. It's possible that the doors, because of how far away it is from the doors, only so many doors are able to reach that far away. If that really is the absolute limit, because like for instance these doors on this side would work, but then going to here and then all these, it wouldn't quite reach. So it's saying, oh, there's already too many testificates for that area. So this one, we're already 28, 27, 26. We already know that's definitely a go. This one I'm going to be inclined to say is too far, so let's kill those guys. Although I doubt it reaches even that far. And it definitely isn't going this far. Another thing I was a little curious about, and why I did this in so close, is I was kind of curious about whether them getting excited to breed, in love I guess we'll say, whether that was contagious. Like normally if you just had these guys here, it wouldn't reach that far, but then because of the fact that the one right next to him was getting excited, maybe it would jump over and be like contagious. But that doesn't quite seem to be the case, so it might have just been glitchy that it actually did that. And we still have more guys that I probably could kill to thoroughly test. So I'll kill them off as we do this. And I'm actually going to restart the game real quick because there is something in the wiki that says you have to sometimes restart your system to get the exact results that you would expect, but that's pretty vague. So, alright. So still no lovey-dovey. So at this point in this testing, the most I've been able to show is 26 doors away that they are still in love. And these guys, that of course it is working vertically just fine. So let's kill off all these guys. And this I was also sort of testing out the whole contagious aspect. It seems to be working a lot better now. I don't know. This whole thing, it just drove me nuts. I hated testing their breeding habits. Just so annoying. Alright. So now, going here, and this was pretty, you probably see hearts coming from them in just a moment. We have so many. But this is kind of interesting. In this direction, going upwards, from the top of the door, it's 28. From the floor, from the ground, it is actually 30 spots up. So it almost, and this is why for a lot of things, I've been considering 30 the benchmark, even though it might be a little off, just to be safe. And you can see they're going crazy there. And then going up just 3 spots more. Each one of these is 3 up. These guys have not done anything. And going down, that of course at the one above it works. He'll work. So going vertically, I don't know how you'd count it, but it's 30 from the ground when the doors are laid on the ground, or 28 spots from the top of the door. And I didn't bother testing. I guess I could have done at 31 and 32. But I think that's pretty much good for me. I was surprised that they got up that high. And it was kind of interesting, too, the fact that if you counted it from the top of the door, 28, it was interesting, 28 in this test was the furthest away I was able to get. And although, again, I haven't been able to really duplicate it, I was able to get 28 blocks in that direction as well. So just something to think about. Anyway, let's kill off all these guys now. Oh, this can take forever depending on how many guys there are. Woo! Much better. Get out of here. Look at them. They're just like, ooh, jizz, 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 skeet, skeet, skeet. Get the hell out of here. They're still coming? How many were in there? Look at them. Geronimo! Oh my god. Oh my god. It's ridiculous. Look at that. Holy crap. So apparently I let these guys breed a little longer than I should have. We finally getting to the end here? It's so weird. Look at it. He's got the apron on, but he's... It's so funny. Alright. Anyway. So these guys aren't working. Alright. And again, the distance, I used about 100 blocks being the distance. In some cases a little shorter. But about 100 blocks roughly in between each one. I want to say that for the golem farming, which is another testing, I didn't get a chance to do thoroughly enough yet. But for that, they say usually I think around like 75 or 6 blocks away. So I'm going to say that you may be able to have it that close to be safe. You may even be able to do closer if you're not doing golem farming. But I'm still not seeing these guys doing anything. I'm just going to kind of leave them alone for a bit, and we'll take a look at the next test and come back to them. So, actually, what did I show you? Oh, yeah, this was important too. I was really excited, although it's cost a lot. It would be nice for the zombie sieges and such if iron doors worked. But as you can clearly see, we have a crap ton of iron doors, and these guys, I haven't gotten any results from them. So I'm going to say iron doors do not work. I don't know if maybe at some point they will. I think they should. I think it would be pretty cool if they did, and it makes sense that they could, but they do not yet. So let's kill off these guys. Alright. And, okay, over here, I'll give you a sort of sneak peek at this. Again, this is for the future, but an Iron Golem Farm. And basically, right here, we have the length of a water stream, let me see, so I think this is 8 blocks in each direction this way, and then 8 blocks this way, so that would be 16, 16, so 32, and then 2 blocks here, 32, 33, 34, so I think it was 34 by 34, and then another here, so 36 by 36, something like that. And again, when I do the testing, exactly, I'll let you know. I went with the doors, and again, this is how you mostly see them. I, of course, in my research also looked up what other people were doing, just to make sure I wasn't getting too far off track. And here I was just testing. I've been really curious about what is actually considered the center of spawn for the golems. I tested out having the guys raised up to on top of the door, because that's close enough. They'll breed while they're up here. But I did not notice any golems spawning. So I know the golems, with the way you have the houses, they can spawn at this level, and then I think at this level. I'm pretty sure that's it. They might be able to on that level, I can't remember. But I think it was just these 3 levels here. So this, and yeah, the level there that the water's at, obviously, for them to be able to go there. So that would be this level, so that would be 4 levels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe is the only areas they can spawn. So this whole thing, this should be the maximum area that they're able to spawn. But I was testing here just to make sure. If I added, I was kind of curious if I added a ton more doors just to bring up how many golems could spawn, because I think the maximum, I don't know if it was 4 is the maximum that can spawn or if there was no limit. But anyway, I just wanted to see if any would spawn in the sides there, which I haven't had yet, and if the rates would change. And this also would kind of tell me closer to where the center of spawn was. But then there's the whole factor of the villagers, if they have to be there also, can they be anywhere in there? Because that also sort of gets me to think about, if you're going to have dual layers, it's a lot easier to have the guys, instead of in the center, over on the sides, and you can have them there on the other side, and then when that's cut off with all those doors, that corner and that corner, and then you can have them stacking. But that I'm still kind of testing out. And this takes even longer to test the golem crap, because they don't immediately start spawning, sort of like the villagers immediately start breeding. So it's got a lot of more AFK time. You just kind of have to compare the rates, if any spawn, you know, over like an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour period. And then of course this, I believe they said if it's 7 blocks away from the village, which this right here, the ground level, is, that's 10 up, so it's over 7 away. But then I feel like I've been getting not as high rates as I should have, and I've been kind of curious if that number is a little skewed also. I don't know, but that's for another time to get into more detail. So let's check back in the other villagers. And then I have one last thing I want to show you. Whole thing. Alright, still no change here. So, although I did see it with my own eyes happen, I can't prove it. 26 is the furthest we've been able to get them to go. So we'll still leave them. Another lot of different still things that I'm curious about. How far away can I be and them still breed? And that's pretty difficult to test, just because of the fact that they could all of a sudden pop out a bunch of babies as I'm getting closer to check on them. But just something I'm curious about if anybody knows. Just kind of interesting for different farming stuff. Also, I'm curious whether could they have bred while I was way far over there? Is that actually realistic for AFK time? And can the golems be spawning while I'm this far away? So just different interesting things to think about. So let's sleep real quick and then we'll go on to my next little area. Alright, next thing I wanted to put, actually I forgot about, but I wanted to show you another method too for design, and if you don't like the rows of doors. And the rows of doors, by the way, that makes it better if you're trying to spawn iron golems, just because it gives more space. Again, I don't know the exact number. I want to say somewhere between like 8, probably around 8, maybe even 10, but probably 8 away. They can spawn from the center or wherever it considers the village. Can spawn 8 spaces away. Most of those spaces are taken up by these doors. So it's not very efficient for getting iron golems, although occasionally you will get one. It does make for kind of a nice looking and fairly compact based on the number of doors you get for breeding villagers. But as you can see right here from this door, we have closer, I think this is 5 blocks away from the furthest door in. So this right here, just this one, since they can share the single blocks, every single door is accounted for with a block going around, and this will work for massive breeding. So, and they should probably, I think I have some guys down there, but this should pretty immediately get them to start breeding. Let me just see how many other guys I have. A couple of fun methods for getting rid of guys is quickly and easily is either dumping lava on them, or you can just get a zombie egg, which is also pretty fun. You have to worry about during the daytime that the zombie doesn't mess. Oh, they're getting shot out of there. Die! Oh, I've killed thousands of these guys in this testing. It's pretty funny. Alright, so let's get rid of you. It's daytime, so I know you can always just cover the top of the block. Crap! Oh well. I didn't realize that wasn't covered. Alright, so anyway, as you can see up here, they're now going crazy. They're going, oh my god, look at all these doors. That is the sexiest thing I have ever seen. I already popped out a kid. Alright, so this other thing that I wanted to show you, where the hell did I put it? I think it's over here. Yes. Now this is, I did not come up with this idea. I think it was, what's it, like C&B Minecraft or something. He did a really, really crazy intensive one that's like fully automatic and insane and probably took forever. This is just sort of similar concept, using the pressure plaids to activate a trapdoor. Now I have found that this does glitch out when I log out of the game, or if I'm far away, the piston messes up and doesn't stay extended. I think this was, yeah, either of these should be just about the same. Sometimes I believe it messes up from the piston and it's sucked in possibly when I log in, or if I'm too far away and it doesn't activate, and then some guys are able to slip through. But the basic concept here, let me get out my villager egg again. And I've had some problems with this. I tried to use different delays in it, and what this is doing is this is using two, what are they, AND gates, and then they link into another AND gate, which then activate the piston for the release of them. But the idea is, and I used 4, I found with no delay, tends to work the best, just because these buggers are so goddamn fast. But by doing this, especially the baby ones, there should be hopefully at least 3 left in there. I mean, you need 4 hypothetically to open it up, but for some reason they're able to jump on one, and then I even put blocks in between so they couldn't run, and they're able to sometimes get it so that there's only 3 left in there. But this more or less regulates so that you have by your, see down there we have a bunch of doors. You're able to regulate so that these guys here, there's only so many by the doors, so they're always constantly breeding. And then once the numbers get too high and they might stop breeding, it opens up this this piston, which will then have them drop through here, just because I don't want my game to lag the hell out, because they'll breed forever. It has them die. But then I set up over here a system, which is kind of neat. Same exact thing, I had some really queer wiring of this because I was just rushing to get it done. But again, the same concept here, but then what you can do is as they get too many and they drop down into here, and the watering stream isn't necessary, but it just gets them to make sure to gather there. And eventually there's enough force to push this guy up the ladder, and so far I haven't found a height that they can't climb to. But then you can have another cell up here to which they all gather. And this way you're able to have guys consistently breeding and then slowly get them separated. And as you can see right there, they're going up. Slowly separated out so the breeding never stops. And then from here, I'm able to then, if I want to, set up another mine track or another system or whatever I want, and then continually transport them to different areas and without disturbing the breeding. So that's what made this kind of attractive. Also, it's a way to, you know, since they breed pretty much forever, it's a way to get them separated, and if I need to kill some off, I can just open it up, let them X amount die, and then close it back up again, and there's still plenty there. And of course the breeding never stopped. Now, as I said, I'm going to need to play around with this a little bit just because of the issue of when I log in and out and the piston arms not having, I've come back and there's been only 1 or 2 in there, so that's kind of an issue I don't want. And I thought I closed that, but they might have been stuck in the block. So anyway, all neat things. What did I have over here? I was testing out those doors. I think that's about everything for the testing. So we found within this video basically what's considered a house, how far away from a house a testificate can breed, a villager can breed, and then a neat way to kind of keep the breeding constant and get them separated out a little bit. Something like this I may decide to build. In fact, that's the reason I built this, is I wanted to find a way that I could test out the doors with the breeding and get them separated so that I wouldn't have to keep on killing guys. But the only problem with this is getting an Iron Golem Farm working in there as well, because of course you have all those spots that you're not able to breed the golems. So we'll play around with it. I'll think about it a little bit more. I just did this in about 5 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed. X amount. Alright, we are coming to an end of the episode. So sad, I know. It goes by so quickly. But just one little subject I wanted to bring up and talk about before we left, and also wanted to show you. Started digging up the base a little bit, raising the roof of this basement, and I don't know, I'm still kind of getting used to it. Before doing the whole thing, I wanted to look at it. I kind of liked how you could see the texture a little better here with it, but it's just, I don't know, it's going to be so much more useful when it's way up high, and it probably will be a better look overall. So, and then I was thinking of doing triple beams instead of single. In fact, I may end up moving these out to about here, just so it doesn't look so thin and skinny. So, a lot of things to come. And I also filled in all the dirt up here. Not all of it, but most all of it. So, you'll have to let me know what you think. But anyway, guys, I'm coming up very, very close, maybe even by the time this episode airs, but very close to 30,000 subscribers. And I gained quite a few lately, and because of the Minecraft. And welcome and thank you. I hope you're enjoying the channel. But I really wanted to do something special for you guys, and I've been trying to think about what I should do. And I'm not sure yet. I was thinking we could go to the Ender and fight do the dragon fight, but we're not quite where I'd like to be yet. Of course we could do it. It's a fairly easy fight, but I wanted to be a little bit more prepared for it and make sure that we do it in one shot and, can relax and have potions and stuff, which is another thing I got to get going on. But leave a comment telling me what you'd like to see for a 30,000 special, whether you'd just like me to make sort of a collage video or whether you want to do something special here. What would be cool to you guys? What's the most fun thing to see? Because I'd like to do that. Let me know. And I'll think about it and see what I have time for and definitely try to do it. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a good time. Comment, like, subscribe. Make sure to push that thumbs up so that the videos and myself can get better seen throughout YouTube. It's a big help. And yeah, peace out.